Good morning. See if get myself connected here. All right, good morning. Happy Monday morning. We'll get started in just a moment. See if I can get these AirPods to connect. They don't seem to be doing that. But I think I'm fairly hearable without them. Should be working though. All right. Another 30 seconds or so. And we'll join. Welcome, I'm Kat Bodnar. And thank you for joining us this morning or after the fact. If you are watching this video after we've gone live, let's see, my AirPods don't seem to be connecting to my computer. But it might work just fine without them. We'll get started in just a moment. Good morning, Sharon. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Such a crazy time. Sort of need to allow ourselves to breathe and be in our bodies more than ever. I'm going to shift my screen a little bit. There we go. It's a great time to drink coffee. Okay. No, that's not what I want. How strange. Okay. Give me 1 second here. Let me see if I can get these AirPods to connect. Okay. Got a different light going now. Usually connected before. Don't know why they are not connecting now. They're not though. They're not connecting. All right, seems like every day there's some new funky little hiccup in getting this online thing to happen. Okay, well, yeah, they're not pairing. It's not happening. All right, well, you know what? Let's just dive in. And you've got the live chat there. If you are having a hard time hearing me, please let me know. Because, yeah, don't know what's going on with these guys, but that's not happening. Okay. All right, well, yeah, so please make use of the chat. Let me know if you can't hear me. I'll try and project nice and loud because I've got to be somewhat far away from the computer to be fully in the frame. Yeah, there we go. I'm in. Okay. Okay, so welcome to some gentle morning flow yoga. I'm Kat. Thank you for joining either this morning while we are live or after the fact, because this will stay up on my channel. You can hear. Wonderful. Thank you for letting me know, Sharon. Thank you. Cool. All right, so let's begin. Let me take my watch off. I like to have my watch off doing this. Okay, so let's begin in either child's pose. What that is you're sitting back on your heels and letting your upper body drape forwards. Okay, we're going to be here for a couple minutes, so if that's not a super comfortable place to be for you, just kind of mimic that, but lying on your back instead, you know. And if you've got a wall handy, maybe you've got your bum kind of close to the wall and your feet on the wall, and that can kind of just push the knees up towards your chest for you. And they can be wide, they can be closer together. Same thing in your child's pose. Width of your knees is up to you. Okay, but yeah, let yourself be cozy here. We're gonna be here for a few minutes. So if you are in child's pose, belly down, try and have either your forehead on the mat, or you can put a blanket, a block, or your fist under your forehead, and do let your head be supported here. Then in your child's pose, or on your back. If you're on your back, stretch your arms up overhead. Okay, we're gonna walk our hands over to the left diagonal here. So basically, this is to get a little more stretch into our right side. And you can mimic this lying on your back. If that's where you are, you can still get this nice little side stretch. All right, then walk the hands over to the other diagonal over to your right. This is to lengthen that left side out a little more. All right, then recenter the arms. Okay, next we're gonna come up into a tabletop on our hands and knees. So from wherever you're at, whether you were face down or face up, come on up onto your knees. As always, if those knees need more padding when they're down on the mat, if you're at home, you don't necessarily need a yoga blanket. Any blanket will work, or a towel. So use that padding when that is helpful for you. All right, let's start to move through our cat and cow, breathing in. Stretch the belly down, look up. Exhale, round the back. Drop the head and tail bone down. Let's see if we can take a slow count from 3. Good, to get into each shape. So we inhale and arch. 3, 2, 1. Exhale and round. 3, 2, 1. Inhale and arch. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, round. 3, 2, 1. Do it one more time into cow. 2, 1. Round to cat. 3, 2, 1. And walk the hands back towards the knees until you're just on your knees. Step the right foot in front. Good. Take that foot at least a little ways out past your knee. Lean forward into a low lunge. And then shift the weight back over your back knee to bring the right leg back down to your mat. You're going to do that a couple times on each side. So now step the left foot in front. If you're near a wall and you feel a little wobbly, use that wall. Left foot steps forwards. Lean into the lunge. And shift back. And bring the left leg in. We're going to do that one more time each side. Right foot steps forwards. Lean. Then lean back. And right knee down. And that left side. Left foot steps out. Make sure that foot's at least some amount past the left knee. You know your lunge. So you know if you should step it way out or just a little bit. As you lean forward, you want that front foot staying flat. All right, so we are back to 2 knees. Let's come back to that tabletop and tuck the toes under and lift up to downward dog. Let's take a little time to fidget with intention in our downward dog. So maybe that's a pedal of your feet, pressing one heel down at a time. Good. Those of you that have practiced with me for a while, so grateful I get to say that. People that have worked with me for a while. I'm so lucky I've had these regular people at my classes. And I'm so grateful and happy that we are still showing up here via the internet. So if you're familiar, you know we often step our feet as wide as the mat and then use that to get a little more length with a bend in the knees. So if that's a nice way to warm up your downward dog, feel free to use that. Take a few more breaths here. All right, and then feet hip distance apart if they're not already, and shoulder width. Good, feel those quad muscles hug and wrap around those thigh bones. With an inhale, shift forward to high plank. Exhale, downward dog. We'll do that 2 more times. And anytime you're in plank, you always have this option of touching those knees down if that is more sustainable and comfortable for the low back. And one more time, high plank. And hinge back. Good. All right, and let's walk or hop the feet forwards. Come to a forward fold at the front of your mat. Okay. We're going to come back to that low lunge again in a moment. So if that knee padding is helpful, just keep it there for now. All right. Let your knees bend a bit. Yeah. Kind of try to let your upper body just rest on your thighs. Keep the bend in the knees. Inhale, lengthen the spine forward. So peel off the thighs for a moment. Let's exhale, fold back down. Really let the knees bend a lot for this one. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen forwards. Exhale, release down. Inhale, lengthen forwards. Exhale, release down. This time, take that all the way up to standing. Inhale, lengthen. Float up. Arms up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, swan dive down to a forward fold. Knees can bend as needed to give ease to the spine. Good. Then from this forward fold, hands will come down to floor or blocks. Realize I didn't put my blocks here, but imagine I could bring the floor to meet with some blocks. Step the left foot way back on your mat. We're going to keep that back leg straight. Reach the arms up to the sky. Your front leg is really bent. We're in a high lunge. And in our lunge, let's interlace the fingers overhead. Flip the palms up to the ceiling. Good. Squeeze the arms as straight as you can. If they don't get all the way straight, don't sweat it. Just feel that tension in the arms. Feel those triceps squeezing. Then shrug the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale and let them drop down, but keep that reaching up through the palms. Good. Unclasp the hands. Lower the hands down to floor or blocks. Lower your back knee down. Good. Do whatever you want with that back foot in your low lunge. Your left butt cheek is squeezing. Good. Low belly drawing in and up. So as the hips are leaning forwards, there's this fountaining in and up with the upper body. And lower the hands down. And step the left foot forwards. And let's pause a moment in this forward fold. Let me get my blocks up here. So then we have a visual. And if you don't have blocks, feel free to use maybe something else around your house that could fulfill the same purpose. Let's take the right leg back. Good. And reach the arms up to the sky. High lunge on your other side. I've often used a water bottle to fill in for a block when I go to a class, and then suddenly I get into it and I'm like, ah, shoot, I wish I had a block right now. I often use my water bottle. All right, in your high lunge, fingers interlace overhead. Good. So try and put your other hand fingers in front. So let me see, it was my left in front before. Now it's my right. That tends to be, oh yeah, the side that I don't do initially. It feels a little weirder, a little tighter to me than the first side. Yeah. And then palms flip up to the ceiling. Those triceps are squeezing. Shrug the shoulders up. Release them down. Unclasp the hands. Bring the hands down to floor or blocks. Lower your back knee down. The toes can stay tucked or they can untuck. That is up to you. Up into your low lunge. And lower the hands down. Step the right foot forwards. Come into that forward fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine forwards. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale to lengthen, then stand all the way up. Exhale, hands to your hearts. Good. All right, it's going to be a little bit now before we have our knees down on the mat. So if you prefer that blanket was out of your way, that can move. We're going to come down onto our belly, and for that, I want a little more space between my blocks. All right, so actually I want them both on this side. All right, inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. From forward fold to your downward dog. All right, your next objective is to lie down on your belly, whether that's through plank and you hold onto that plank as you slowly bend the arms, or you can just walk yourself down from a tabletop. All right, and I realize my lighting could be improved to light me better down here. I'll work on that. Reach the arms out in front of you. Good, and legs straight back. All right. Lengthen the tailbone back towards your heels. So it's kind of creating a little more space in the low back here. All right. So straighten the arms as much as you can, and you can press the palms down into the floor to help you get that length and tension in the arms. Good. Lift your right arm and left leg up off of the mat. Try not to change much or change very little about your spine here. So not really lifting the chest or that left hip. They will want to lift. We're going to try and really isolate it in the shoulder and the hip for now. All right, and lower those limbs back down. Good. And lift your left arm and right leg. So think of it being more about length than height. Good, and bring those down. And let's do the right arm and left leg again. So imagine first that they just really want to lengthen away, and when they can't lengthen away anymore, they float a couple inches off the floor. And lower that down. Okay, left arm, right leg. And lower that down. So now we're going to lift both arms, both legs. Just kind of throw in here something you could do. So if your shoulders are tight, you could have your blocks at any height. I've got them at my medium height right now. Okay, good. Or you might put like a couch cushion out in front of you. So let me just kind of give the arms a little support here. Good, so hands can be up on that. All right, then the toes, legs lengthen back. And we lift up. So the shoulders are tight. This can be a nice way to just kind of give them a boost. And then that can really support this length through the arms. Okay, keep the back of the neck long. One more breath here. Okay. And let's lower down. All right. Bring the arms back along your side. Let's turn our head to one side. And turn your head to the other side. Okay, recenter the head. And lift up to a locust pose. So arms, chest, legs, everything just flies up. And lower down. Bring the hands in place to lift you up to downward dog. So you might pass through tabletop or pop right up to your high plank. And then from that downward dog, walk or hop your feet forwards. From your forward fold, inhale, lengthen the spine forwards. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale to lengthen, then stand all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Okay, let's turn to face one side of your mat. I'm going to face away from you so that I'm not mirroring you, as my mirroring brain is feeling a little confused this morning. All right, so you're going to step the feet nice and wide, and I'll keep trying to check my chat to make sure that you can still hear me as I'm turned away from you. All right, so turn the right foot out all the way. So that's going to point straight to the side there. Left toes in a little bit. If you like to use a prop, For a triangle and side angle pose, you can set that where you want it. We're going to start in Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Right knee bends. Good. And your right inner thigh is lifting up. You might even, with your right hand, grab a hold of that right inner thigh and just imagine you're trying to peel it up on top of your quad here. Good. Left outer hip energizes down to the left outer foot. And turn the right palm up, reverse your warrior, side bending to your left. Maybe your right knee bends a little more, and maybe it kind of squeezes back towards its own pinky toe. Good. But don't let that unflatten the foot. We still want the inner edge of that foot flattened down. Good. Then let's take this over to a side angle pose. So this might be your right forearm on your thigh. Good. Those of you that have taken my class a bunch, you know that's always an option. Or maybe your right hand comes down to your right ankle or your block. All right, now we're going to straighten the right leg to come into Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. Maybe your right hand stays where it was. Maybe it needs to come up a little higher on your right leg to allow the right leg to straighten. All right, and then bend your right knee and come up to Warrior 2. And we're now going to repeat that on the left side. So we'll switch the feet and prop. Right toes turn in a little bit. Left toes out all the way. Start in Warrior 2. Strong bend in that left knee. Right outer hip energizing down to the pinky edge of the foot. Left inner thigh lifted. And again, you might even grab that inner thigh and just think of trying to peel it up on top of the quad. Then turn the left palm up, side bend to your right, and to a reverse warrior. Maybe your left knee bends a little more. And it can even squeeze back more to its pinky edge, so long as that left foot still stays fully flat. And then lean over to the left side angle pose. Elbow on the leg. Good. Or the hand coming down lower. Okay. Extend that out to triangle. So now that right arm points straight up to the ceiling. Both legs are straight. Left hand is wherever it needs to be to allow that length in the left leg. It might need to come higher up on the leg. Right, bend the left knee, lift that back up to Warrior 2. All right, and straighten. the left leg. Bring the feet parallel to each other. I'm going to face you for this part. All right, we are going to forward fold to Prasarita Padottanasana, starting with an inhale to lengthen, exhale to hinge forwards. Good. Feel the backs of the thighs, those sits bones lifting away from the backs of the knees. Hands can come down to floor or prop or stay on the hips. Let's inhale, lengthen that spine a little more. Exhale, hands to the hips. Inhale to stand all the way up. Good. And step the feet back under the hips. Okay. So from the top of your mat, good. Maybe a prop, block, water bottle in place. Good. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Good. So from this forward fold, we're going to lengthen the spine forwards. Good. And so maybe a prop, such as your block. Good. Or let's see here, I have a foam roller. There's some boxes here. Good. Or I could even maybe put my hand up on a wall, up on a chair. Okay. So I just want to show you, you've got options here. Your left knee is going to bend. Good. Your hand could also be on the floor. It could be on your left leg. I can't lean very much on this with this block and this box. It's empty. All right, left knee bends. Right leg as straight as you can. Doesn't have to be completely straight. And right arm is going to make some circles, reaching forwards, out in front of you, up to the ceiling, behind you, and down. And again, forwards, up, back, and down. This time just forwards and up, and hold the twist here. Okay. So maybe you keep that right arm up. If that's where your chest is the most open, use that. If it opens your chest even more to start to fold that arm behind your back with the palm facing out, okay, then use that. But if that starts to collapse your chest down, come back here. Good. Prioritize what's opening the chest the most. That's going to be most beneficial for the twist. Good. Let's come back to center. Ooh. All right. Bend your right knee. Good. Maybe a prop under that right arm. So this is all about supporting length of your spine here. Right knee bent, left leg some amount less bent than the right, maybe all the way straight. All right, and left arm circles, reaching forwards, up, back, and down. And again, forwards, up, back, and down. This time just forwards and up, and hold the twist here. Good. And if it opens the chest more, maybe that left arm snakes around the back. Unwind your twist. Let yourself just hang here in this Uttanasana forward fold for a few breaths. If your feet are within reach of your hands, if you need to bend your knees to make that happen, that's totally fine. But your peace sign fingers, index and middle finger, they might hook around those big toes. And so let your upper body hang forwards. Imagine your sits bones trying to move apart. Inner thighs reach back. So legs are firm, but not necessarily being forced straight. So notice for you, what is a reasonable sensation in those hamstrings? Especially as it's early in the morning as we're doing this live. All right, so then we're going to walk down to our hands and knees. We're not going to be on our knees for very long. We're coming into dolphin. If you have a headstand or forearm stand in your practice and you would like to detour through that, feel free to detour. All right, so coming into dolphin. Okay, so if you're not sure what any of those terms were, you're coming into dolphin with me. It's essentially a downward dog on our elbows instead of our hands. All right, so elbows are down, fingers are interlaced, tuck the toes under, lift those hips up. In our dolphin, let's step the feet as wide as the mat and use that width and a bend in the knees to get even longer. Good. And your goal here is to really keep your head away from the floor. So yes, for headstand, which we are prepping for, your head would be on the floor. But in this instance, opening and lifting it is getting that openness, that alignment in these shoulders that we would need for a headstand. Headstand is a lot of shoulder opening. It's a lot of work in the back and the shoulders. So the head being on the mat is just kind of an afterthought. So a lot of our practice for it is actually trying to get the head off of the mat. Let's step the feet back to hip distance apart. Let's take 3 more breaths here, but if you need to come out sooner to child's pose, come out when it's right for you. All right, if you haven't already, lower those knees down, sit back, child's pose. Rise up to downward dog. And walk or hop the feet forwards. Inhale, lengthen the spine forwards. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale to lengthen, then stand all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Okay, we are coming back to that wide stance. Good, facing one long edge of the mat. Okay. If you've got a prop that you are using, so turn your right toes out all the way, left toes in a little bit. Good. And set your prop to the inside of that right foot. Stretch the arms out and bend your right knee, warrior 2. Now turn to face your right leg in warrior 1. So I'm going to turn my chest towards my right knee. My left foot's going to step out to my left a little bit, and I'm gonna nudge my heel back behind me a little more. Then bring the right hand up to the top of the right thigh. Really scooch it up high. Press down into the thigh to lengthen the chest up. Now keep wedging that right hand down into the right leg as you start to straighten the right leg. That's going to help keep lengthen the spine as you hinge forwards. Good. And then left hand comes down to maybe your prop, the floor, or somewhere on your right leg. If you feel a need to shorten your stance, not a problem. Bring that back foot in a little bit. Good. Reach the right arm forwards. And then reach that right arm up to the ceiling into revolved triangle. Good. If it bothers your neck to really look up, don't look up as much. Just a little less up with your head, because remember, we want the twist really coming from the rib cage. It's not just the neck. All right, and now lift your back heel, come onto the ball of your back foot. The foot's still down. We're on the ball of the foot now. And bend your right knee. Turn that into a lunge. And then bring that right arm down. 2 arms up, high lunge. And we're going to take that over to our left side. Bring that block. Pivot through center, right toes turn in a little bit. Left toes out all the way. Set your prop. For me, big toe edge of the foot is where I like it. Because where we're ultimately setting it for, revolved triangle, that's a tough one for me. All right, and then pivot that into warrior 1. Turn your upper body to face the left leg. Step that right foot out to your right and try and nudge that right heel back a little more. All right, left hand to the left thigh. Really push into that thigh. This gives the front of the body a little more length. Good. Keep jamming that left hand down into the left leg as you start to straighten and hinge the upper body forwards. And remember, you can step that back foot in closer if you want. Right hand comes down to floor, block, or leg. Reach the left arm forwards. We haven't twisted yet. We're just going to get even longer. And then left arm up to the sky. Good. And I'm not quite looking at my left hand. That's kind of tough on my neck these days. Too much looking down at my phone. Too much of that. Good. A little less looking up with my head. Kind of helps me get a little more lift of my chest. And finding lately it kind of reminds me to prioritize that. And I don't force my head up so much that my chest is like, oh, well, we'll do it then. All right, lift your back heel, just the heel. You're just coming out to the ball of the foot and bending your front knee. Come into a twisted lunge. Good, lower the left hand down. Good, and let's lift up out of that lunge. Step the feet back in. Okay. All right, we're gonna come down to that tabletop and work a bit more, work from that tabletop. So this is a little warning if you would like to have that thing. All right. Let's inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. From your forward fold, find your downward dog. And from downward dog, down to your tabletop. So right knee is going to stay where it is. Your right foot's going to pivot off of the mat. This is going to make the side balance a little easier. Slide the left foot back. Reach the left arm up. Okay, there's a few different ways your yogi journey can go from here. It can stay here. Your left leg might lift. You might bring that into a side plank. If you'd rather plank on your forearm instead of your hand, feel free to use that option. And let's breathe. Two more breaths here. Feel those fingertips of the right hand pressing into the floor if you're on your hand. Great. And bring that back down to tabletop. Let's recollect our breath here. All right. Left knee stays. Left foot pivots off. And whether you tuck or untuck those toes, that is totally up to you. Slide your right foot back. Reach the right arm up. All right. And then choose your yogi journey from here. Whether it's staying, the top of the right leg is lifting, or it's coming fully into some form of side plank. Beautiful. Let's bring that back down to our tabletop and sit back on the heels in child's pose. All right, next we're gonna lie on our belly. You'll probably want your blanket out of the way. Coming down onto our belly for bow pose. Okay. So remember, you can always make this another locust. Good. If grabbing the feet is not for you today. Or grab your feet. Good. Feet, arms, thighs, chest lift. Good. And lower down. Let go of the feet. Turn your head to one side. Good. We are going to do that one more time. We're going to take a little rest in between. All right, and recenter your head. Locust or bow pose. Good. Either way, rise up nice and light. As one teacher used to say, like mist rising off of a lake. And lower down. Release the feet if you're holding them. Turn your head to the other side. All right, lift yourself on up off of your belly. All right, and come to sitting with the legs stretched out in front of you. Feel free to sit on a blanket, towel, what have you. Okay. If you do have a wall hit you, so starting by just sitting up against that wall, and it's really trying to walk your booty back against it. Okay, so this might be a great way to just work your forward fold. So just kind of right against the wall. Yeah. Okay. So if especially if when you're sitting, if it's hard to get, the shoulders fully stacked over the hips because they're getting pulled back behind the hips, this can be a great way to work this. Okay. So you might stay here, or you might fold forwards. Inhale, come on up. Next, we're going to lie down on our back. Hug your knees into your chest. And then scoot your hips a little bit to the right of center. Lower the knees to the floor over on your left side. Head and chest turn to the right to twist. And with an exhale, unwind out of your twist. And switch sides. Hips take a little scoot to the left. Knees go to the right. Head and chest turn to your left. unwind out of your twist. Recenter the shoulders with the hips. And let's come into a figure four, hooking your right ankle on the left thigh. That might be enough stretch right there. Or you can wrap your hands, clasp your hands around the back of the left thigh. Pull the legs in. Right. Release and switch sides. Left ankle hooks on the right thigh. And pull it in. All right, let that go. With knees bent, feet flat. Lift up to bridge. Switch those shoulder blades a little closer to each other. Feel the sternum arcing up out of the shoulders. And lower down. Once your back's all the way down on the mat, just let your head nod side to side, just rolling right to left on your mat. And then let the knees do the same, just little drop side to side. And come to center. Bring the knees into your chest. Bear hug them in close. Lift your head. Try and touch your knees with your forehead. And let that go. Stretch out into your Shavasana. So you might just be stretched out on your back. My feet are a little cold. I'm gonna get my blanket over me this morning. Feel free to come into any rest position that suits you for the next couple minutes. Back to your breath. Stretch your arms up overhead. Bend your knees, roll over onto one side. And gently press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Palms together at your heart. Let's close our practice by chanting one Om all together. First, exhale fully. And a deep inhale. Thank you so much for joining, either this morning when we're live or later. Very thankful, very grateful to have this connection with you. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you Wednesday. My email's in the description if you want to reach out with any questions, requests. Oh, bye.